Good morning, y'all. We are out here at French Creek State Park, and I haven't been here since I was a kid. I don't remember too much about it, but I do remember there being bass and yellow perch here. I checked the website. Apparently they also have walleye, muskie, and northern pike, which I've never caught any of those. If I did catch any of those species, I would be thrilled. I'm honestly not expecting to catch them. I think they're in here, but they're probably small numbers. That's my guess, or my assumption, I should say, going into this. I think today we'll get on some bass and hopefully some pickerel. I will tell y'all, I probably messed up. I should have brought the frog today. I didn't realize how much vegetation there is. So far, that is my one regret. But let's try to get on some fish. Enjoy. I've only taken a few casts, and I can tell y'all casting's gonna be critical to our success today because of all the vegetation. I mean, you need a cast that's just slightly to the side of it. Not a ton of margin for error. There's a fish. What's our first fish of French Creek? It's a bass. It's not going to win us the Bassmaster Classics, as I say, but it is a largemouth. So we were on the board with our first fish being a largemouth bass. Hopefully a sign of things to come. Hopefully some bigger largemouth. Starting off small with the lure, so hopefully as we increase our lure size, the fish size increase as well. I'm not going to lie, the fishing is slow, like extremely slow. Something to at least follow a bit gives me a little bit of hope. There we go. What is it? What is it? Oh, nice little perch. There we go. Second fish of the day is actually about the same size as the bass we caught earlier. Yeah, I mean, he's a decent perch. That's a decent size. See you later, bud. All right, people, we've been working the outside of these lily pads and it just has not produced fish. So I'm gonna go closer to shore and see if that's where the fish are hanging out. Oh, that was right. So this is pretty much the life of a fishing YouTuber. I finally catch a bass and the GoPro dies. He's not huge or anything, but we'll let him go. And as I was expecting, they were in shallow. He was like in here. Look at how close he is to the bank. Finally. I mean, y'all, we're catching dinks. We are catching dinks, and people might say, well, what do you expect? You're using a small lure. It's all we've been getting hits on. Just one of those days where you're happy to see a fish like that, honestly. I would like to address that. In some of these videos, we do catch small fish, and we don't always catch the big ones. And the reason is, I come to these lakes for a day, and I fish the best I can. I go for the big ones, but if we're not catching the big ones, I make the conscientious decision to downsize and go for smaller fish. And I leave it up to y'all to review the video and decide if it's a lake that you want to go to. It could be that, you know, large fish here are not that common. It could be just that it's a bad day of fishing and they're here. It could just be that I'm just not good enough to catch them. But that is for y'all to decide, and based off these videos, I hope you get an idea what these lakes look like. Just like dying to see how shallow or deep it is over here. Oh, there we go. What is it? Perch. Cool. This is where I think I differ from like your bass YouTube channels. I mean, I go for any species that will bite, and will definitely hit the panfish if the day is slow, which it is. It is. Cool. What kind of fish is that? It's definitely a sunfish. I'm just curious what... Oh, that's not a sunfish. Another dink. Dink City. I think he's the biggest one thus far, though. Headed in the right direction. Long way to go. I was actually trying to catch a sunfish that I saw. Looks healthy. All right, see you later, bud. Okay, 2 hours into our journey, and it just hasn't been the best fishing. The lake is very nice. I like it out here. It's not too crowded. It's not a huge lake. I mean, there's traffic, but it's not anything insane. And it's easy parking. It's clean. The fishing has been subpar, I would say, actually. I would say subpar. I mean, we caught a couple perch. Expect to catch more of those. Caught a couple largemouth. The quantity of largemouth for this time isn't bad. It's the quality, just not big ones. And I do want to show y'all kind of my setup. I use an ultralight, and I've been using it more in this video because I'm only showing my catches. Now, outside of the ultralight, I have a medium light and just a medium with bigger lures on it, and they are just not catching fish, so they're not going to make the video. This is always my kayak setup. And this is why y'all sometimes see me using small lures. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you use bigger lures to catch bigger fish? Because that's not always an option. You just don't always have the option to catch big fish. But we're going to try to catch some big fish. Whether or not we'll be successful, question mark. When I got to Hopewell Lake, it really wasn't that crowded. There was a couple fishermen on the water. And by the time I left, it was just packed with people, like mobbed. And you had fishermen, you had boaters, you had swimmers, you had people just enjoying nature, but you had everyone there. So tons of people, and I wasn't catching anything. So I decided to change it up and try the other lake here at French Creek State Park, and that is Scott's Run Lake. So let's see how we do. This is fairly shallow from what I'm thinking. And I'm seeing a lot of vegetation. It's getting my lure stuck, which is not great, but could be great for pickerel. I'm gonna work my way down there, and by work my way, I mean I'm just gonna paddle down there and start fishing at that log and see what happens. Because I know nothing, I mean nothing about this lake. That's a fish. Yo, that's a decent fish. That's a good fish. It's gotta be a pickerel. It's gotta be a good pickerel. Oh, that's a bass. What the heck? I did not know there's bass here. Very cool. All right. Well, Scott's Run. Ah! Ow. Time out. Yeah, lots going on. Scott's Run has already produced more than Hopewell Lake. Hopewell Lake's definitely the most popular one. But I did not know that they even had bass here. Nice largemouth, bigger than anything we caught over there. So one largemouth and one Jimmy finger. Okay, well, that was fun. He felt larger than he was. Maybe just because I haven't caught any big fish today. I'm sure that's it, but we will have our net ready in case we do catch a big fish. Ooh. another big perch on the spinner. I mean, when you think of this size spinner, I mean, you think of, honestly, pickerel. You don't think of perch. And we've been catching some good perch, not just here, but at Hopewell Lake on this. And where was the other place I was fishing before? Machunk? So, seems to be a reoccurring theme. If I was targeting these perch though, and I wanted to fish a MEP spinner, I'd probably fish a size 2 or 1. That's a good size perch. Yeah, that's a good size perch. Pretty looking fish. Got the weight on them. I am so glad we gave this lake a shot and didn't just leave, because this lake has turned around the day already. Oh. What is it? What is it? Crappie! Awesome! Did not know these guys were in here. When I saw it, his colors flashed and I was like, is that a pickerel? And then I saw him and I was like, is that a tiny bass? And then I was like, no, that's a black crappie. I appreciate you joining the party, bud. And this is my crappie slayer, the B Vibe. Wow, good to see you, friend. Did not know you were here. Thanks for playing. Very cool. That is going to conclude my review of French Creek State Park. I should say this, the fishing today, it was okay. We got a decent range of fish. They were primarily small. You know, the largemouth were small to maybe 1 medium-ish in there. I mean, not even for a lake, probably still on the small side. And we caught some nice yellow perch. That was really cool. And excited to get on a crappie there at the end. So, did get a couple different species. Like I said, it wasn't the best day of fishing, but I will say both of these lakes are incredibly clean. I really like what French Creek State Park has done. They've created a great place for families to go. So even if you don't come here fishing, it is a cool place to come boating or just hiking, walking the trails, taking your kids outside, taking your wife outside, take your girlfriend outside, your friends, whatever. Bring people into nature. That's been my motto. It's been what this channel is about. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. See y'all.